Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. Today I wanted to walk you through my latest release, my remix of All I Need by Rammor and Bien. And so here's the project, and as you can see I've got the radio edit as well as the extended mix in the same project, and this just helps me keep track of any changes that I've made so that it is reflected in both versions. But we'll be focusing on just the radio edit for today. The first thing I did when I got the track was to find the right chords for it. So these are the chords for it. All I need. Right now this is just a pad playing. So from there I needed to find a good melody for it. So I was experimenting with a lot of different melodies until I came up with this one. So this trancey sort of ARP melody. I've actually if I kept the old one in the same project, I've actually changed it a little bit. So before, it actually sounded like this. And then the new one, so a slightly different rhythm and a few changes to the notes. And then yeah, from there I've got the right foundation. So I've got the chords, which in turn will give me also the bass lines. I've got the melody, and what I've been experimenting with lately is vocal chops. So here we go. This is the vocal chops. So the way I did it was to basically find a good section of the vocal, dragged it into Logic's quick sampler, and it automatically chops up or slices the file for you so that you can play them on the keyboard. And this was a rhythm that I liked. And for the processing, this I've put some EQ on it, actually filtered the high end a little bit as well, some OTT just to give it that edge, just this little bit of spark, a delay. I love this free plugin by Baby Audio. And then I also have a reverb, and then the usual sidechain on it as well. So yeah, and then the last component that I think I needed was sort of like a different alternative, or like a top melody sort of thing that goes on top of that ARP. This together sounds like this. So yeah, so those were the main components of the song, and then everything else sort of builds from it. So let's jump to the start of the track and let's just walk through it element by element. So as the song begins, we have the reach. Very simple, just a root note chord. And in terms of the atmosphere, I've got this ARP that is playing. It's filtered in the beginning and then it opens up later on. As well as a piano. So this is just a standard Logic, I think it's a Logic piano. Yeah, and then just some filter and a lot of reverb. This is another free plugin, really nice reverb by Valhalla. And then I've also got this sort of like accent thing. So it just emphasizes the transitions between the chords. And then another sort of accent sound is this. It's actually a super saw. So it complements the vocal quite well. And they've got these sort of like vocal chops, but very minimal. So again, just highlighting some bits, leaving room for the actual vocal to shine through in this sort of more calm section. And the leads are already filtering in. I also have this like sort of plucky thing that plays underneath everything else as well. You're all I see. I hear you calling. You're all I need. Feels like I'm falling. So we transition to a build. So the leads are opening up more, and then the snare roll comes in. And the main vocal chop is now slowly filtering in. And then we get to the main drop. For the drums, I've got this kick. A drum loop actually borrowed from one of my previous releases. Some more hi-hats, some toms actually as well, just to add a bit more groove. Open hat. And then I've chopped up some of the original stems as well. So for example, this fill. And later on there are some other parts as well that I chopped up from the original record. Other than that, we've got some more loops and fills as well. So all together, sounds like this. A nice groove going on. I tend to like to put sidechain as well on the percussions, although it is very little. So this one, 29%, just to add a bit more groove and to still have the kick shine through, especially when there's a lot of different drums going on. The bass line composed of a few layers, so I've got this sub layer and also a reese layer, and there's like a stab layer, and then more of a rhythmic layer. So they got this sound as well as this sound. And then after the first drop, we get to the beat section. I've switched one of the layers for this layer. This just has a bit more of that high-end presence that wouldn't really work in a drop where you've got all the leads playing. But in this section, I think it works quite well and highlights a bit more of the groove as well. Other components of the drop is this sort of trance-like pad from Vital. And the cutoff is open all the way here. We've also got the same art playing in the background as well, just filling up the frequencies. Sort of like this chord-like rhythm, just again supporting underneath the leads. Same with this. This is more of a sustain. And then obviously the leads composed of a few layers. They're all made from Vital. Even a white noise layer, again, just adds a bit more to the grit of the sound. In terms of the processing, it's quite simple. Just some EQ, boosting a little bit of the high end, a compressor just to glue all the sounds together. I like this plugin from iZotope called Trash, a bit of distortion, as well as OTT, very minor. I also have the sidechain as usual, and this kilohertz trance gate, which I think I automated. So yeah. So after the 8 bars, it will sound like this. So it's just a nice way to break up the rhythm, I guess, and to again give the next half of the drop a bit more energy. And in this one bar as well, the kick and some of the percussion goes away, again emphasizing that the second half of the drop is coming. And then in the second half of the drop, just to give it some variation, this top lead that I was talking about actually plays only in the second half. And then I like to add a lot of these ambient sounds as well. In terms of the other effects, just some basic sort of white noise, reverse claps, impacts. I've also got like this hey sort of shout thing that I sometimes like to layer on top of the drop as well. Cool. Moving on, we get like a beat section. I like to have sort of like this beat section where the kick and the bass line continues to play into the second break, and I think it's just a nice way to carry the energy forward from the first drop. Less drums are playing here, so most of the drums have been removed from the drop. The same bass structure except for this one sound that I switched. The piano ambience is sort of back as well, and also the pad that I was talking about actually filters down. So again, this leaves a bit more room for the vocal. Without it, it just sounds which is a bit more busy, which I think was not very good. In the second section of the song, I introduced this trance-like ARP. So which is similar to the first ARP. Which just gives a bit more of that trance feel, something that I try to give to the song, which was originally like an afro house sort of pop dance track, and I wanted to bring it to more of the trance or the sort of the club music sort of world. Again, this accent sound is playing, and we are back to the more minimalistic vocal chops in this section. And then this is a new section I added to the song where the main vocals actually goes, and we've got these other vocal bits that play, and I've made sure to filter them as well, giving them some reverb. So just highlighting some bits from the verse, more of a dreamy feel to it, and for that I have the kick, which is filtered using the Logic's auto filter, a cinematic drum loop that I have also plays, although it is quite filtered, as you can see here, and it's slowly opening up as well. And from there, it transitions well, I think, to the build for the second drum. So all the leads come back in, filtered, so about halfway. And the same melody now plays, except for that this time we have the vocal that carries on into the drum. Except for here, the vocal comes into the drop. And again, to maintain the variation, this melody only plays in the second half. And also, I forgot to mention this, but there is another sort of high-end layer in this sound. So it's gated actually. Yeah, so with the same kilohertz plugin, it's gated. And just helps to elevate the energy a little bit more in the second section. And then from there, drums go away, couple of kick. I like this original groove, so I've put that back in as well. Now only two bass layers remain, and we bring back some of the more atmospheric elements, as well as this piano that plays the top notes of the original melody. Yeah, and then there's one more element, which I have two more actually forgot to mention, which is a string. This is from BBC Symphony. Which actually plays in this more orchestral section that I wanted to make. We also got a choir, which is again gated as well. I like to have these gated sounds, which gives a bit more to the overall mix, but also doesn't just cloud the mix by making sure that it doesn't necessarily play at full power all the time. So the choir actually plays in both the buildings. And yeah, that's pretty much the track broken down for you. I actually took quite a lot of time to find the right melody for it, and I went back and forth with Rammor actually on the sort of direction or more of the sound that I was trying to go for. So yeah, this was how I made the remix, so turning an Afro house pop dance track into a more main stage festival trancey track. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.